Hey there, my name is Kara Vieska. I am an assistant professor at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and I'm excited to welcome you to one of our e-workshops. This right here is what one of our e-workshops looks like, and through this video I'm going to quickly introduce you to how it works, how to get enrolled, and everything like that. So first, we should have sent you a flyer that looks like this. Has a lot of information about getting started. So this is really a useful resource and tool to refer back to, as well as this short video that I'm making right now. The first really important thing is where to go to log in. And that is this URL right here. You're going to want to save it or bookmark it, and make sure that that is where you're going when you are seeking to log into your e-workshop. This is what that page looks like. Please note that it is the Canvas website. It's not the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Canvas or the University of Colorado-Denver Canvas. It is Canvas, just the company Canvas. They offer free access to their resources on their website, which is how we're able to offer these free of cost. So be sure that this is where you go whenever you're seeking to log into an e-workshop. After you've watched this video, you're going to take a short quiz, and then we will send you your enrollment information. What we will send you is a URL. This is an example of a URL that we might send to you. And this is then what it will look like when you go to get enrolled. Now, you may not be enrolling in language and concept development, which is the name of one of our e-workshops. Whatever the e-workshop is that you're seeking to enroll in is the information that we will send to you. So when you come here, you have a choice. If you have already used that free Canvas site and have already set up a free account right here, then when you come to this space, you're going to click this button that says, I already have a free for teachers login. And you'll put your email here and your password here, and it'll log you right into our e-workshop. If you are a new user, if you have not yet set up an account, that's totally fine. You will click this, I am a new user. You'll put in the email you want to use for this account, and then it'll take you through the process of setting up an account and then launch you into our e-workshop. So just a couple really important things to remember. This website, this is where you go to log in. And then please take note of the email that you use to set up your account here, as well as the password. Obviously, they have password help, like many sites do. But what we have seen is that at times, the problems people have had logging in have mostly been related to not going to the right site or not having the right email. So just take note of those things. Those are really important. So once you have access to a workshop, this is what it will look like. This is grouping strategies for multilingual classrooms, but regardless of which e-workshop you do, this is basically what our e-workshops look like. The way that they're structured is our e-workshops have an essential question that guides the learning for the whole workshop. And then there are 5 guiding questions, one guiding each units 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then unit 6 is an opportunity to synthesize what you've learned and answer the essential question. So to get started, we start with first steps, which is right here. And here is where you will see the essential question for the e-workshop. So that is the question guiding all of the learning across all of the units in the e-workshop. And it's the question that you'll have an opportunity to answer when you get to unit 6. I want you to notice down here, there's some helpful navigation tools down here. These buttons will help you return to different places within the e-workshop. This is an opportunity to get some tech support if you're having some sort of technical issues. And this button will give you some tips and tools for navigation. These are things that are all part of our workshops, but Canvas also provides some helpful navigation tools over here. If you click on Home, it will always take you to this page where you can start from the beginning. When you click on Modules, it lists out the e-workshops kind of by what Canvas calls modules. So there's first steps, and then here we have our Unit 1 and Unit 2, so that's another way to navigate. This link takes you to the different discussion threads within the e-workshop, so you can quickly jump to the one you're looking for there. And then finally, this one will show you the people who are in the e-workshop. There should only be people in here that have agreed to be in the e-workshop with you, or who are part of the ICME admin team. So we are going over first steps real quick. So here you can watch a video to get to know the author of the e-workshop and kind of the general content of it. This is surveys and agreements I'm going to come back to in a second. This is a discussion thread for you to start with your e-workshop colleagues to get to know one another and start thinking forward about the content of the e-workshop. This is something that we are working on to provide clear links between how teachers are professionally evaluated and the learning that occurs in the e-workshop. We've done this very thoroughly for measures that are used in Colorado, and we're now expanding to other states. So if you don't find something here that's relevant to you, I'd really love to hear from you so that we can make sure that we develop that to make sure that our e-workshops are relevant to you. And then this is a section that talks about what eCALLMS is. Now you may have noticed in here, let me pull this back up. I said I'm from the ICME project, but then we're also talking about eCALLMS. So let me just really quick make it clear what that means. So eCALLMS was a project that started in 2011 and ran through August of 2016. It was at the University of Colorado, Denver, and I was there and worked on it with several colleagues. ICME just started in the fall of 2016. It's the International Consortium for Multilingual Excellence in Education, and it's the follow-up project from eCALLMS. So in eCALLMS, we started this process of designing and disseminating e-workshops, and now in ICME, we're taking it to another level, disseminating to many more states and developing additional e-workshops as well as conducting research on them. So that's the connection between the two. They really are very closely connected, but in the e-workshops, you're going to hear and see eCALLMS, but when you interact with us, we'll probably talk about ICME, and that's just because different rounds of funding have different than names and things like that. So, what is eCALLMS then is a page where you can go to find information about the foundation of the eCALLMS project, what were the theoretical guidelines and things like that impacting it. So I want to go back to surveys and agreements. This is a really important piece because the reason that we can keep our work free of cost is because we have a large grant. Well, in addition to the free site that Canvas offers, but there is some administrative work and some costs associated with providing access to the e-workshops. So in order to keep that free, and we need some information from our users so that we can report annually back to our funders and keep getting funded. So this page is really important for all users. This first link is asking you just to agree to our terms of use, so it's pretty straightforward. This is asking for information about who you are, how long you've been teaching, that kind of thing. And this is a survey looking at attitudes and beliefs regarding working with multilingual learners. These are all really important for you to do in order for us to have data that we need to report back annually to the feds who are funding this project. We also have an opportunity for you to consider, and is no pressure at all if it's not something you want to do, but allowing us to use the data generated from your participation in the e-workshop for research purposes. And so this is an opportunity for you to say yes or no to that. And obviously we appreciate it if you do participate in our study. We're interested in learning more about educator development to support teachers of bilingual learners. At the same time, no pressure at all. You may utilize this workshop without participating in our study, and there shall be no negative impact to you on that. It's just something to consider. So that's the surveys and agreements, and it's really important. We have some additional surveys and agreements in final steps, and they're equally as important, if not even more important. So this is a survey asking you about your perception of the effectiveness of the e-workshop And another thing that the feds want us to report on is the perception your supervisor has regarding the effectiveness of your participation in the e-workshop. So this is a link that we need you to send to your supervisor and request that they respond to. And then this is again the surveys on attitudes and beliefs. So at the end of the e-workshop, it's really important that you complete these. And we really need you to do it for the $200 stipend. We really need all these data in order to give you that stipend. And that data is, like I said, it'll only be used for research purposes if you agree to it, but it's most important for our evaluation and reporting purposes to the feds. So let's go back to our flyer real quick. There's some tips in here on what's in the different steps, on how to get started. In our workshops, let's go back to the workshop. We have a three-part learning cycle in each unit. And this three-part learning cycle is Explore, where you will gain access to some content and ideas and things that, just ideas to explore related to the guiding question. And then the next thing we have is what we call Make It Work, which is where we have designed at least 2 activities that give you the tools and resources to make the ideas from Explore work in your classroom practice. Now, we know that we can't sit here and tell you what is best for your students and for your classroom and what you should be doing tomorrow. So we always have this option of you make it work. Maybe our ideas will be something you could tweak. Maybe you want to create your own ideas of something to do based on what you've learned in Explore. But this is the chance to take the ideas from Explore and really do something with them. The final piece of our learning cycle is what we call Share. And this is where you'll come to the threaded discussion, or if you and your workshop colleagues want to meet face to face, that's an option for you. But here you'll just click on reply and you can type in your thoughts. You can attach a lesson plan or a video or anything that you might have that you think your e-workshop colleagues would want to see in relationship to what you did in the Make It Work. And then this can become a really interactive space where your collaborative learning can occur and you can really engage with one another about the important work you've been doing in the e-workshop. So that is the basic of how our workshops work. They are hopefully quite intuitive and easy to follow along. There's one more thing I forgot to point out about final steps that I want to point out, which is that there are some resources here. This is a link back so you can reflect on on your learning here in relationship to how you're evaluated. This is an opportunity for you to download a zip file that has all of the resources from the whole e-workshop. It may be something you want to do right away to get started. And if you'd like to have a certificate of completion or purchase continuing education units from the University of Colorado, then the instructions on how to do that are here. So let's go back to our flyer, make sure we've covered everything. It looks like we have. So we're here on eWorkshop schedule. One of the great benefits of our eWorkshops is that they can work on your schedule rather than on ours. So once you have started a new workshop, it's really important to stay in communication with your colleagues in the eWorkshop and make sure that you have an agreed upon timeline and that everyone is working on it. So here's a good place to record when you're supposed to begin and when you're supposed to end, and just be sure you stay in constant communication with your eWorkshop colleagues, because it's really important that you stay kind of connected and communicating through all of it. That's going to be probably one of your biggest spaces of learning, is from one another. We have a website here where you can see the latest information about what e-workshops are available, if you want to take another e-workshop once you're done with this one. And after you've watched this video, this URL takes you to a quick quiz that when you complete it will send an email to us, and we will then follow up on your quiz and make sure that you have all the information you need to successfully get started. Now, you do qualify for a $200 stipend for completing this e-workshop, so it's important that I point out a couple of things. First of all, you do not have to participate in our study in order to qualify for the $200 stipend. That is completely voluntary, and you may choose to engage or not. The $200 stipend is completely tied to your use. So that means we need you to do those surveys in the beginning and the end, and we need you to complete each unit. And that will look like posts in the discussion threads, and making sure in Unit 6 you do what we call an evidence of your learning. So you'll create an artifact in Unit 6 where you'll synthesize your learning and answer the essential question, and that needs to be completed in order for you to qualify for the $200 stipend. So it's really important basically that you just fully participate in the e-workshop in order to get the stipend. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Remember, this is my direct email. You can also always email eCALLMS@gmail.com. There's also various links inside the e-workshop that you can get to the ICME team from. But we really want you to have a fantastic experience in the e-workshop, and we're happy to have your feedback, suggestions for improvement, ideas for people to reach out to who might be interested. We've worked really hard on these e-workshops, and we think we've created something that is meaningful for teachers' professional learning, particularly because you as the learner are guiding your own learning and making important decisions about what's relevant to you and your students in your local context. And we just really want you to have a great experience and help us reach out to other teachers who might want to have a great experience as well. So thank you again, and please let us know if you have any questions or concerns.